Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another video. Today, this one is more of a tribute video than anything else to the winner of the Clan Boss draft, the Clover Clan Boss draft, hosted by Deadwood Jedi. If you didn't check it out yet and you don't know who the winner is, definitely go and check it out. It's over on his channel in the live section of the videos. It's a 3-hour long live showcase of 5 teams for the Clan Boss, all epics and below, so rares and epics, utilized to get the most amount of damage on Ultra Nightmare difficulty. And if you haven't watched that yet, I will not spoil it just yet, but I will be spoiling it for the next part of the video. And at the final part of the video, I'll be covering my own team in a recording that I made the other day. Okay, but the first part now, it's a tribute to the winner. So if you didn't check it, now's your chance, last chance, go over and check it. Okay, so the winner is Hell Hades. Well, I don't wear a hat usually. That's what Deadwood Jedi does. So yeah, my hat's off to you, man. And what you do is you do maximum damage, and you did it on the Clan Boss draft again. Second time you do win it. You do wear your own bandana, right? When you do your maximum damage, and you did wear it during the live stream when you won. And well, if you guys have seen it, you know that I did the minimum damage, so it suits that I wear this is well, not my bandana, but I borrowed it just for this video. So I'll be wearing it for the next part, which is gonna be the tribute. And the losers had to wear something green while they were you know, talking up about the winner, which is Hell Hades and his amazing team. So what I had though is like an old green screen that I had just lying around, and here's my minimum damage bandana. Hell Hades again, congratulations. The minimum damage Clan Boss Clan Boss attempt that I did was obviously, you almost did 3 times more damage than I did. It's kind of a shame the way that I drafted my own team versus yours. You are the best Clan Boss team. Your thought process behind making a team is unparalleled. You won twice so far. There is no chance I ever enter a Clan Boss competition against you again before just getting you know, deep into the books about raid and learning all the teams that I can go against and actually win this time, right? And beat you and get the damage with the most damage team. I don't know. I'll need the help of the viewers next time with my draft, and I'll definitely need them to be banning your picks more carefully, so we may have a chance the next time. Again, congrats, Hades. This was not easy to make. And you can see how I am right now. Even the minimum damage bandana. This hurts. This hurts a lot. I would have loved if you were the one wearing this, but well, you've proven us all wrong. And as the losers, we all have made our tributes to the winner. Congratulations again, guys. If you're watching this video still, if you were not just hopping over to Hell Hades channel to congratulate him, then yeah, thank you. The next part will be me covering my own team, the setup that I did, my thinking process behind, you know, which champions I used and which ones I didn't, and also their gearing. Maybe I should have done different gearing in hindsight, but we all learn a little bit more out of all of these. So enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you all so much. Congrats again, Hades. And thank you also to Deadwood for, you know, making this possible. This was a total fun experience with the Clan Boss draft. The band part was amazing, and I want to see more of that in the future, like more competitions and with more content creators as well. Right, enjoy the next part of the video, guys. At the time of recording, I have no idea whether I am last or I am first. I don't think I'm first because the team I've done didn't perform that well as I thought, but it was still fun. The thinking process behind building teams is always fun, and it does really revitalize my the information that I have in my head about killable teams. Killable teams are not something we really make anymore, especially during takeovers and stuff. It's more common than not to build an unkillable or a block damage team, because there's so many different combinations and so many champions now that do provide those skills. So building a killable team is not always the option, and usually what we recommend is that if you can 4-key Ultra Nightmare, then just slowly do that until you get a champion that can help you push to a 3 key, to a 2 key, so that you don't really struggle in terms of just pushing gear all the time on a killable team and wasting resources. Wasting resources is a big part of the game. If you are especially like a low spender or a free to play, you just build the team and then you only upgrade it when the time is right, and that way you maximize the usefulness of your resources, right? That being said, let's have a look at the champions that I have available, right? We had no we were not allowed to use any legendaries, right? And I could use any epic pretty much or rare. From the draft that I did, I had let me show you guys. I had these epics to use. I had Liburga here, who also had a 1-star awakening. Didn't matter all that much, the awakening, because I didn't have much options. I just had cruelty on her. She was the only one with it, and she was a great damage dealer. And you'll see across the board that I did utilize lifesteal sets. So lifesteal are back on the board. It was very strange using lifesteal because it's a very strong set if you're building these kind of teams and you need to keep your team alive. That is if you don't have Leech. Leech became strong after a patch that Plarium did and made it way stronger. But with the team that I was making, I couldn't feed Leech anywhere. And with Das Dirk, that was one of my options as well. I just couldn't make it work. I couldn't make it tune work so that Das Dirk would either cleanse the stun and also boost and keep the team at a good ratio of doing damage. That being said, I went with this one and I think it performed well for the time period that I had. I had like 2 days to prepare the team. It was like 4 days, but I only started 2 days before the deadline. Okay, so Liburga, the reason that I chose her was for poison sensitivity and poisons. A lot of damage coming out of this champion, but not an easy champion to get. So it's not like you can go ahead and replicate this team. It's got a poison on the A1 and a great passive with extending the duration of poisons. When this procs, it really helps. And when you're building a lifesteal set kind of team, you need to focus on the defense a little bit. And if they've got a defense up buff, the defense get boosted by 60% or so, depending on the buff. And at around 3,000, that is 3,000 multiplied by 1.6 to get the amount of defense that your champion actually has when they get hit. So that's the amount of defense that they would get. And since Liburga and everybody else except for my stun target we're only pretty much getting hit during the AoE phases, I didn't need to have insane amounts of stats on them defensively, because I also needed them to do a little bit of damage. So 70% crit rate there, because she was getting a little bit of a crit rate boost, and I'll go over that in just a second. And a lot of crit damage for the damage output with accuracy at 212. I was pushing this. I wasn't getting that many resists. Sometimes I would get them. Ideally you want to run at least like 240 on accuracy when you're building ultra dynamic teams. I couldn't push my accuracy a lot just because of how the gear was, and also my lifesteal sets are not that good. You can see the 5-star pieces here that I have, and we were limited to 300,000 power. So anytime I glyphed something, I needed to be very careful because of the effect that would have in the overall team's power. The masteries that I went mostly with everybody were War Master, okay, and then the support route, getting Steadfast Marshal as the support mastery. So this is a very strong mastery because this counts as a buff in terms of stun targeting, and the way that the boss attacks the stun target is usually if no buffs are available on anybody and this mastery is on everybody else except your stun target, the target is going to get stunned. But of course then affinity comes into play, how killable the target is and all that good stuff. So you'll see on how the run performs and how much damage that did. And I'll actually show you just the run that I did, the one which was submitted to Deadwood. All right, so let's continue on with the other champions, and I'll give you guys the variation of champions that I tried using and all that. So we have the White Dryad Nia. So this one was such a nightmare to actually build. She ended up being my stun target champion, and I locked out her A2 for how the team performed. Okay, though the reason that I did lock out the A2 was that this is a very random skill that she uses. It has a very short cooldown, so you can't tune it exactly for her to be using it on the target which has the lowest health at all times. And because of this, it does affect on the target's cooldowns, and if this goes on, let's say somebody else who's like an ally protector, it will affect on how much how frequent they're going to be using their ally protect skill. So I did use her for ally protect strengthen, very strong there to survive the big AoE hit, which is AoE 2. And then this passive also helped top up everybody with her lifesteal set. So she was healing, and then her passive also healed everybody by 20% of that heal. And she did not feature steadfast here, and she did feature defensive route, so very high defense because she was the stun target, and I tried getting her health higher. But again, the 300,000 power limit, this limited my ability to get this HP higher for her to survive longer and longer on the stun target. In terms of surviving the AoEs, she was okay most of the time. And this amount of defense, I know that it's a lot, but it ramps up in terms of how much damage you take, because the boss will target you based on your health. So by, turn 40, turn 50, the boss does 60, 70,000. And if you don't have like a defense up on your champion, you're gonna die. And this health is very limiting, even with the health, aura from the champion like Jarek, which I ended up using. So other champions that I have. So does Dirk, I tried making him work in terms of on the Deadwood Jedi website. I just couldn't make him work. I know he's got a great A2 here, which would have helped boost my champion's speed a lot, but I just couldn't find a tune. I didn't really try him as being the target of the reset by White Drea Nia, and the reason for that is White Drea Nia has to go very slow for her to be the one resetting and not resetting multiple times. And when you're resetting multiple times, the targeting on that is going to be very weird. So I couldn't put the two together, and I couldn't have her lock this one out and also use this one, because I needed a very solid speed booster and something that helps my team be in a tune more than a 1-to-1, so I can do more damage. Okay, so I scrapped the Rune Keeper and went ahead with this pick right here, guys, Broadmaw. But before I talk about Broadmaw, let me show you Warcaster, which I tried for a little bit in a very slow tune at 120 speed with these stats that you see here. He had a helmet on, but I removed it. I was trying to get lower power on the team. So the tune that I tried was a Warcaster slow boy. So if you guys are familiar with that, Warcaster would be the one using his skill here, which is a block damage skill on A2, the AoE A2. He would get a reset from Nia, okay? And he will have this always available because of this cooldown. And he would also be able to use this as a skill, but he had no accuracy, so this wouldn't stick on the target. And it was pretty cool actually using Warcaster, but I couldn't get it to work because the stun targeting was very weird on Void, and it would go on all sorts of different targets than the ones that I wanted it to. So that being, I scrapped the idea of the slow boy Warcaster and an almost 1-to-1 ratio with only Jarek as a 4-to-3 tanking the AoE number 1. And what I did was I went with Broadmaw. So again, Broadmaw, you see with the lifesteal set, good stats, like 40,000 health, 3,500, some damage here, nothing too crazy. The reason that I chose Broadmaw was this A2, which is insane. Crit rate boost plus increased speed and turn meter boost on a 3-turn cooldown. This is actually insane. I believe this was a patched skill, so it was changed from what it initially was. A free actually champion to get, but still very good. Look at that, the turn meter boost, speed, and crit rate. This helped me get a lot of stats that I couldn't beforehand. And with this in my arsenal, again, Steadfast here and Warmaster, I went ahead and made it a 3-to-2 tune, meaning all my champions went 3 times for every 2 times the boss went, except for Broadmaw, who was going at a 1-to-1. So he would use this skill only once per round of 3 boss attacks. Okay, that is for my Void heroes. I tried Scabrius for a little bit instead of Dazdork, and the reason was that because he has a leech, he's got a poison, a weaken plus heal, and he also has a boost on his damage on that. But he was just there for damage potential. My team was doing like 20 million damage. I wasn't satisfied with that. So Venom Mage, an insane champion in terms of overall usefulness, poison explosion, A2 decrease defense and decrease attack, and then A3 heal reduction, which this affects the damage the boss does, and applies poisons. Because of this passive is what makes him so special, right? I think Venomage was very, very important to the team in terms of helping it survive a little bit longer. And I tried to give all my champions this, like a blood shield ring, for that extra buff. But in the end, it didn't really matter because of also Steadfast, and also the tune that I went for the end team. I could have gone even without Steadfast, but it was fine. It worked as much as I could, okay, for that point. And then finally, Jureg, being the ally protector for AoE #1, very, very strong with the Defiant sets. The Defiant sets have proven to help the team survive a lot, and he was running at 251, so he was running a pretty fast kind of combination with 74,000 health, but a lower defense. The defense was fine because he wasn't getting attacked that much, and he had a lot of health. This passive is what made him so special, because this helped my team survive for a long time, because of the continuous heal that were enabled basically after every AoE. At a point, they helped them recover, plus the life reset, plus Nia. So it made the team possible to be that good. And the lasting gifts buffs also were pretty nice for that passive, which made the continuous heal buffs go for 2 turns. And you see that in the run, okay? So that being said, let me show you the preset that I was running, and look at that. We even have a transcendent chest out of that, because I did so many keys testing this one out. My team was 299,000 power, pretty solid, okay? And the preset was this, basically Nia looking at her A2. Everybody else was fine. This guy doesn't even use the resurrect anyway, so no real point in locking it out. But Nia being a very solid healer, and the way that the team works is, well, you'll see. But with a 300,000 limit, I think I did okay in terms of damage and how the tune was. Let me show you the tune exactly right now, so that you guys can see on what I'm talking about. So this is the tune. If you were wondering on how I was figuring things out, this is how you make a tune work, okay? Everybody was running at those specific teams: 232, 216, 251, 231, and 171 for Broadmaw. And with those speeds, the ally protects would go right before, okay, right before the boss hits every time. And then during the stun turn, my champions were only going at a 1-to-1, so 1 time for the 1 time the boss would go, and then they would go, some of them would go twice here. So a lot of damage coming out from most of my champions here, except for Broadmaw, who was doing very minimal damage, White Dryad, Nia, and Jarek, who are basically protectors there. So this team was relying heavily on the damage coming out of Venomage and Liburga, and as you can see, this was how this would all go all the way to turn 50, and that is how the tune worked at a 3-to-2, okay? Because Liburga goes 3 times, then 2 times here actually, but then Jarek would go 3 times, then 3 times here, Venomage 3 times here, and then also, you know, Broadmaw being at the 1-to-1 for his speed up buff, okay? And the boost on crit rate, by the way, which affected everybody's crit rate for this round of damage. So that's it in terms of the speed tune. Let's have a look at the actual team run. So that was the speed tune. Let's have a look at the actual run. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it made some sense in terms of a lifesteal team, a full lifesteal team. It was fun team to make, definitely not the most damaging team in the competition, but again, you do what you have, okay? Some mistakes were made during the drafting process, but it was fine. I think doing that amount of damage is still significant in terms of building a team that is, you know, even block damage teams can barely do that damage, and block damage teams actually have to go with just full on damage. If you get the speed right, you just go full on damage. So it's very different when you build these kind of teams without, you know, those key champions in it. So that's it for this video, guys. Enjoy the rest of the run. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.